I'm Elizabeth Bush, an extension plant pathologist at Virginia Tech, and today on this last day of September I'm going to show you some symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch and also some trees that are afflicted with the disease. Late summer and early fall are the best times to see symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch on trees, and that's also when the bacterial pathogen is at highest levels in the tree, and so it's also the best time to test for the disease. One very characteristic symptom of bacterial leaf scorch on infected leaves is a band of yellow between the brown and the green tissue of the leaf. However, this symptom isn't always present, so the best approach is to get a confirmatory diagnosis from a plant disease clinic. In the plant disease clinic at Virginia Tech, we most commonly diagnose bacterial leaf scorch on red oaks, but we also see it on some other oaks and sycamore and elm, and less commonly on other trees. However, many trees are susceptible to bacterial leaf scorch. In the southern and eastern part of the U.S., bacterial leaf scorch is a fairly common disease. It's vectored by insects, and the pathogen that's vectored by the insects is a bacterium called Xylella fastidiosa. The insects that vector this disease are primarily leafhopper sharpshooters, and they have piercing, sucking mouth parts that penetrate into the tree's water conducting tissue. And this way the insect acquires nutrients from the tree, but it also acquires the bacterium, and it can also distribute the bacterium this way. When a tree is infected with the bacterial leaf scorch pathogen, it moves through the water conducting tissue throughout the tree and colonizes this tissue, and this results in reduced water availability to the tree. To test for this disease, we need about 12 leaves with the petiole intact. This is the petiole of a leaf right here. And place those in a sealed Ziploc type bag and submit through your local Virginia Cooperative Extension office for testing. The most notable symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch are the scorching of the leaves. However, that symptom can also be caused by drought stress or any other thing that would limit water availability to the tree. For example, being in a concrete island, having soil compactions, or other root problems or restrictions. This red oak tree had a lot of symptoms of leaf scorch, and I wondered if it could just be the drought that we're experiencing, plus it's in an area where the roots are very restricted and probably very compacted soil conditions. But I did test for the disease, and it was positive for bacterial leaf scorch. As I said before, drought, root restrictions, other things can cause more severe symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch on the tree, and I think that's what's happened here. Symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch typically begin on one or two branches of a tree, but in subsequent years the disease can progress to other branches, and eventually there could be a lot of dieback on a tree. If a tree does experience a lot of dieback, it's best to remove that tree. But typically the disease will progress pretty slowly, and a tree may show more severe symptoms in 1 year than in another year. We diagnosed bacterial leaf scorch on this Camperdown elm tree about 15 years ago. The disease has progressed very slowly on this tree, so it's a good example to keep in mind that you really don't know how fast the disease progression is going to be on a particular tree, and to keep monitoring the tree. This year I think the symptom expression is pretty high on this tree, and that's probably because we've been experiencing a drought, which exacerbates the symptoms of bacterial leaf scorch. Unfortunately, bacterial leaf scorch can be lethal to trees, and there's no cure for the disease once the tree is infected. There are antibiotics that can be injected into the tree, but that has to be done by a tree care professional and needs to be repeated annually. That treatment has only been shown to suppress the disease, and it doesn't cure the tree, so generally we don't recommend that treatment. If you have a tree that's been diagnosed with bacterial leaf scorch, remove any dead branches and monitor the tree. providing irrigation to the tree may help the tree withstand the disease a little bit better, and since the disease typically progresses pretty slowly, this is a reasonable approach to managing the disease. If the tree develops extensive dieback, then it's advisable to remove the tree. For more details on bacterial leaf scorch, for example, what trees are susceptible to the disease, can be found by referring to the fact sheet, Bacterial Leaf Scorch of Landscape Trees, which is available at the Virginia Cooperative Extension publication website.